Tiffany Stratton goes into the match. She has the hurt knee. Obviously, that was the big story going into the match, and it played out during the match as well. But pretty solid victory for Jade Cargill. What did you think of the match, and what do you think of Jade moving forward as your WWE Women's Champion?
Hit the gas. Take your foot and put it on the big pedal to the right and press it down to the floor. Hit the nitrous, hit the afterburners, hit whatever you got to hit. Hit the gas on Jade Cargill. Jade came into the WWE, and there seemed to be a little bit of, what's going to go on with Jade? How is she going to acclimate to the WWE? How will she do in her matches? There were times that we felt that we got more out of Jade in AEW than we were getting out of her in the WWE. It's kind of similar to the Mariah May, Blake Monroe situation. So in comes Jade, babyface, tag scene, okay. Now is Jade Cargill's real opportunity. I think the WWE said at Saturday night's main event, all right, this is it. We're pulling the trigger on Jade Cargill. We're going to have her beat Tiffany Stratton in definitive fashion while giving Tiffany a little bit of a crutch to lean on with the knee injury. But Jade is going to win in a definitive fashion, and we are going full-blown with this woman. At least that's what I'd like to see. I want to see Jade Cargill destroy everybody. I don't want competitive matches. I don't want any of that shit. I want something different. I want a monster. I want a destructor. I want a killer. I want a badass bitch. I've been talking for months now about every woman in wrestling thinks they're the baddest one on the block, with exception to a few who sell with their face really well, like a Becky Lynch. But for the most part, every woman thinks that she's the baddest one on the block. Jade Cargill's the baddest one on the block.
And a lot to what you just said, Bully, a lot. Because, and I agree with everything you said, by the way, when it comes to Jade. But it's funny, it's almost like a role reversal with AEW and the WWE here. Like we always say about AEW, well, you got to put on these 5-star matches and everything else. Not when it came to Jade. They kept Jade's matches very, very short, and they had her on that win streak, a la like a Goldberg, where she was just rolling over everybody. But then she comes to the WWE, and for whatever reason, the WWE had to put her in these matches. Like, why? Like, I would have booked Jade just the way that AEW booked Jade.
Stop. And that's the reason why WWE is not going to do it. Because then it's AEW that got Jade Cargill over and not the WWE. The WWE must create you and your character the way they want to. I always said in the Bible, it says God created man in his image. And the WWE, Vince McMahon had to create you in his image. Now, Vince isn't there no more, but that edict still sticks of the WWE has to put their stamp on you. They have to create you the way they want to create you. Brutal honesty here. There was no reason to fuck with Mariah May. I enjoy what's going on with Blake Monroe, but I know for sure that Mariah May was the goods. Very few acts in history have been allowed to be the version of themselves that they created someplace else. Jericho, Benoit, Eddie, Mysterio, Booker, the Dudleys. Those guys stayed true to what they were in other companies, and the WWE allowed them to run with it. I think you would agree with all those names?
Yeah, I mean, I might put Flair there as well, but to your point, yes. Like there's so many main eventers that the WWE did not treat the right way once they came to this company.
So with Jade, they're going to have to put their spin on her. And they have every right to. Because just because Jade Cargill had a vision for herself in AEW, and just because Tony Khan had a vision for Jade Cargill in AEW, doesn't mean that that's going to match the vision that the WWE had for Jade. They're going to see it through a different set of eyes. They may have believed that the way they went would work best for her, or they would maximize their investment. I think as of Saturday night, the WWE has determined, okay, I don't know if they've gone all in on Jade, but they made a significant investment in Jade on Saturday night. They went out of their way to build up Tiffany Stratton against Charlotte Flair. It went the way it went. Tiffany, in my eyes, has been doing better since she got away from Charlotte, the same way Charlotte has been doing better since she's got away from the championship picture. They had Jade defeat Tiffany pretty profoundly.
Handedly. And boy, I was saying I was watching it with people on Saturday when Jade gave Tiffany Stratton that first power bomb. Everybody was like, ooh, like that looked like it hurt. And it's funny, when she picked her up for the second power bomb, you could see definitively Tiffany put her arm behind her head when she came down for that second. I don't know this for a fact, Bully, but I think Tiffany got rocked with that first power bomb that Jade gave her.
Tucking of the chin is one of the most important things you can ever learn as a young wrestler. A power bomb is one of those moves that should be treated with smoke and mirrors. You know whose power bomb I absolutely loved? Kevin Nash. Because Kevin got you all the way up, and then he just dropped you. He didn't drive you. Because when you drive somebody on a power bomb, it's almost guaranteed that their back of their head is going to slam off the mat. And I would put my argument up against anybody's argument, including Chris Nowinski's, that moves like a power bomb have more of an opportunity to cause a concussion than a chair shot to the head.
And again, I may be reading into it, and again, go back and watch it, but you saw that first power bomb, it was like, oof. And then the second one, she definitively puts her arm behind her head, and she even kind of moved a little bit so she didn't fall flat back. But both looked devastating by Jade. And you know what I love the most about Jade is the knee. And the story was about a knee. When Jade was punching Tiffany Stratton's knee.
The beauty in the simplicity of identifying the injured body part and just punching it. Dave, imagine if you twisted your knee to the point where it was tender to walk on. You didn't need a crutch, you didn't need a walker, but you walked with a significant limp and it was tender to walk on, right?
Yeah.
Even if you bang that knee up against like the cupboard or a table or something, just that alone causes significant pain, right?
Yep.
Think how something as simple as a punch, how much that would hurt. You didn't have to do a figure four. You didn't have to do a Boston Crab. You didn't have to drop elbows on it. Just punching the knee shows intent. I've identified the injury. That is beautiful and simplistic, and it works. I would have probably made the match go shorter. I would have squashed the living hell out of Tiffany.
I think if that was on a regular PLE or something like that, it would have probably been a different story. I think they dragged it out a little bit longer than it needed to be because you only had the 4 matches for a 2-hour show. But I agree. I would have just had her completely beat the shit out of her. But when I was talking about those punches to her, the look on Jade's face, and dude, when she won and she's holding up that championship, her wound above her eye opened up again, so she was bleeding. Dude, she looked like such a fucking badass. I swear.
Look at how simple these things are that we're talking about. A punch to the knee, a look on a face, an old wound opening. How much did that suck you in?
It completely sucked me in. Completely sucked me in.
This is where all of the talking that you hear me do or any other veteran, keep it simple, stupid. Everybody can understand what it's like to be in pain. A twisted ankle, a twisted knee, a hurt joint, an elbow, whatever. Now everybody can understand what it's like to be punched in that area of the body. Now you look at the look on Jade's face like, holy shit, she looks really mean. She looks like she really wants to hurt Tiffany. And then the wound opening up. That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. And what they did is as old as the wrestling business itself, and it worked. There's nothing fancy about it.